10XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You're dangerous because you're honest. You're dangerous because you don't know what you want. Scratch that. I know exactly what I want. 1st and 10, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 2, first down, Duval. They are just lowering the pads and running the football. They're taking clock. Look at that defense. They're not even sweating. They're just standing right there on the sideline. Yeah, it's not sexy, but it's what football is all about. The ability to run it. And with all the concerns, all the problems on offense, running backs ain't it. That appears to be the best position group in camp. Day 16 today, a light one at the Miller Electric Center. And for starters, I'm watching Trevor spin it, and he's working with Strange, he's working with Brown, he's working with Washington, he's working with Thomas Jr., and you see Travis Hunter, he's dressed, got the helmet on. He's got that version, I forget the name of it, kind of the second helmet, but he's not involved in anything. So I tweet out, looks like he's going to have a lighter load, on this Friday after working all over the place, including Thursday, went on both sides of the football. And one of the disappointments that, I think we did not see on Thursday is I would have liked a little bit more of challenging Travis Hunter defensively. Didn't happen in the scrimmage. He was certainly a huge part of the coverage sack by DeJuan Smoot. And again, yesterday, just not challenging him enough. And, I get it. Lawrence is working against it. Lawrence is trying to work his craft, trying to do things with the ones, but just my particular opinion. So it's an upper body injury, according to Liam Cohen, but it is a precaution. If this game Sunday was a regular season game, would he be able to go? I do not know the answer to that question. And, Liam Cohen did say, yeah, absolutely. There's a good chance that he, and I'm paraphrasing here, that he will not play on Sunday. We don't know what is going on with this football team as far as whether or not starters are going to play. It's been probably the biggest topic this week. Again, it's not a perfect science, the 17-3. The 3 preseason games are still awkward because you just can't get consistency. As a matter of fact, the Jags won, 6 straight before losing to Pittsburgh. I know they didn't face a starting quarterback last year when they went 3-0. I honestly cannot remember what they did back in the preseason in 2023. But, that begs the question, what are you really getting? What are you really learning? I think they showed on Saturday night with the twos in Pittsburgh, and particularly what they did against the Jaguars defense. They need more work. So I really do hope that the starters are out there. I don't know that. It's going to be my guess is we'll find out. And, typically, because I flew with the team forever, typically when you get there, there's a player who becomes available in the hotel. And for the media that's there, they'll ask a couple of questions. I don't know if that'll be spilled by a starter, if Cohen will perhaps tell someone on the way to New Orleans and they'll let us know. It's not a huge deal because it's a preseason football game, right? And you can just keep them guessing. But my point is, I think somewhere, somehow, it'll leak. And, we'll know maybe on Saturday night if not certainly early on Sunday morning. But we got a lot to dig into. We absolutely do. The offensive line all of a sudden, was beaten up. And you can't have it here. What was it? Mike Clay at ESPN. He was talking about major weaknesses with teams and whatever. He, once again, doubled down, calling the Jacksonville Jaguars the flat-out worst offensive line in the NFL. 32 out of 32. And you're mixing and you're matching. I've heard the theory that you're never going to get a set offensive line all year, that you're going to have some guys come in and it's going to be somewhat of a rotational situation. I don't know if I believe that. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And what's disappointing now is it feels like attrition is going to be able to help out as far as who the starting five are. That's disappointing to me. I really wanted competition. I think Ed Oga is set. And I think he's a guy that, is going to win that right guard position. Others will argue and say, no way. You paid Makari all that money. He's got to be in there. And again, all I wanted was competition. I wanted to see them play Sunday. I wanted them to certainly practice next week, including their session against Miami, whether or not they play against the Dolphins. I imagine that's what we'll be talking about next week. But I wanted it to be earned. Now it feels like, here we go again. The injury bug and, can you put together a patchwork offensive line with five of these guys coming up to begin the regular season against the Carolina Panthers? Harrison was working on the side today, still an undisclosed injury. Juma Edoga was there. Boy, that was a surprise. The three of them working along with Tyson Campbell, not involved really, in anything outside of just doing work, doing their rehabilitation, treatment, whatever it may be, to try to get themselves, back in shape. So that was noticeable today. The other side of it was there was an Eric Armstead sighting. He stretched. He put on a helmet. So, that's like a that's like a baby taking a first step, maybe even a second step. RJ, can we get some applause, please? I don't know if you heard me, but Eric Armstead actually today stretched with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Eric Armstead today actually put on a helmet and went out there and worked with his teammates. There you go. Yeah, that's like a Beatles scream. That's like like when Hacker walks through the Miller Electric Center, and it's nonstop fans are there screaming his name. Hacker looks good. There's no doubt about it. But Eric Armstead now on the come. This comes one day after Mason Smith, who was taken off the pup yesterday. So, this whole defensive tackle rotation, and let me tell you, Cohen was really specific about this today. It was different from when it was a few weeks ago when he got into kind of he's a veteran and he thinks he'll have his body ready by Carolina on that same day. He told us that didn't know if he'd be ready for Carolina. Today, it was different. It was more like there's shape and there's football shape. And you got to get in football shape. And, on top of that, he's got to practice. He's got to do that with the team. So it almost feels like Liam Cohen has perhaps changed his overall thinking. Now, they need experience. And again, I am just bewildered and always have been about being in shape and being in, football shape. I was talking a little bit earlier today with a couple of guys about the Shemaev fight tomorrow night. I love the guy. I think he's 14-0. He was here a few years ago in Jacksonville. Actually went the distance and won by a majority decision, but it was close. He's a big favorite tomorrow night. But, conditioning is his Achilles heel. And apparently he's been doing 10-minute rounds to try to, increase his conditioning, what have you. You always hear in the NFL, shape. Okay, shape. Guy can run hills, guy can run on the beach, guy can do anything, but he's not in football shape. And to me, it's been like, oh, he's not running around the cage for 3 minutes. He's not like a hockey player that's going to be in a sprint for 45 seconds, a minute 15. I mean, the average NFL play lasts what? 4.5 seconds? 5 seconds? But I didn't play the game. Certainly not at this level. Okay, so I can't identify with that. And it's been said time and again by players and coaches. So you have to believe it, right? Because it's been going on forever. But still, it's a tiny bit mysterious to me for the reasons that I just gave you. All right, opening comments tonight brought to you by Shmunez Vision. And, hey, man, it's been nasty. Driving around this rain, everything that's going on, it's difficult out there. So hopefully your eyesight is up to par. If not, make yourself an appointment today. Get your prescription updated at Shmunez Vision. While you're there, you can ask away. Right. Questions such as, how about laser eye surgery? Rest of your life, never having to deal with contacts, never having to deal with glasses, never having to go look for your readers. You may be concerned right now that something's wrong. Okay, you just don't feel like your eyes are behaving. Sit down with Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, and ask all the questions. You may have an allergy. It may be as simple as that. It could be far more significant. There's remedies that are not surgical. But if that is needed, the 3 that I just mentioned, they'll talk to you. They also perform the surgery, and they've been doing it for far more than 30 years. Go to Shmunez Vision online as well. Check them out on Instagram and get all of the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. Look who's here. It's R.J. Saunders. You got a jacket on. What are you cold?
It gets cold in here, man.
Well, you remember from years ago, I got to turn down the AC during this show because it's so freaking boring. If not, you and I would pass out. What about our listeners driving throughout the great city?
Rick, when it's you and I paired together, everyone out there in Jacksonville understands we're the most lit show.
All right, we got a lot to do. Having some fun on a Friday night. I'm really going to break this down. I'm actually going to tell you, I haven't. Well, I guess I have. I got a 53, but it's shorter than a 53, if that makes any sense. And I'll go through that coming up in a little bit. I think Sunday's huge for probably 5 or 6 guys as to whether or not they're going to make this team. So it's good to have you with us. He's R.J. Saunders. My name is Rick Ballou. We call it Into the Night.
He's our Big Mac.
Woo! It's Smash Mouth football, baby!
Tom McManus brings his big opinions to Jaguars Today.
Every Friday morning at 10 a.m. on 1010 XL.
Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barry here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barry Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarryOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barry Orthopedics.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3,
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. Frank Frangie here for the farm at Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. Explore trails, kayak Blackwater creeks, or harvest from your own land. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
The dog days of summer are here, and Superior Fence and Rail is throwing you a bone. Right now, get 5% off any fence project 100 linear feet or more through August 22nd. Whether you're looking for added privacy or to keep your pets and family safe, now is the perfect time to invest. Contact Superior Fence and Rail today for your free estimate. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Get a lot of personal stuff, a lot of company stuff as well. 9247 Ballou, what's happening with Coach Campo? Well, he's moving with his wife back to Dallas, where his family is. Both his children and his grandchildren. So that is where the coach is going, and I'm going to miss him a great deal. And then Tiddly Bits on YouTube, which you can go to, 1010XL Into the Night, says, Ballou, you and Hacker on better terms these days. Enlighten me. I mean, when have Hacker and I ever been at odds? We've both been here for 19 plus years. I mean, that's a shock that you asked that. But again, it's never what I say. It's what you hear. Maybe you were under the impression that there was an issue, but certainly that is anything but the case. All right, Alexander Law Practice. They bring you the program right here on a Friday. And, I say this, it's heartfelt. It really is. If you're injured personally, right, an accident, it happened to you, it wasn't your fault. This certainly does include being in your vehicle where you were hit, broadsided or whatever it is. But right now you're alone. You've called some practices. They haven't gotten back to you. Here's what I'll tell you. For starters, the minute you call 400-6600 at Alexander Law Practice, you're going to get an immediate call back. Secondly, you're going to get individualized attention. Questions you have, your car's a wreck, you can't afford to get it paid, you can't get to work. You're never out of pocket, okay? These are the questions you need to ask Rick Alexander. Hey, I got to get my car fixed. They're going to work with you through that. I can't get to work. They're going to work through you with that. You have to pick up the phone and ask questions. And the folks at Alexander Law Practice, they are certainly going to be very creative, and, you're going to prosper when it's all said and done. So a couple of ways to reach them. 400-6600, again, free call and free consultation. 400-6600, and go to Alexander Law Practice, where you can get all of the details. Let's begin with Liam Cohen today. He was asked, if you did not hear, yesterday, Harrison went down. They ended up using 6 different right tackles. For the record, first-team offense today, it was Fred Johnson at right tackle, and it was Wyatt Milam at right guard. Then with the ones, Milam moved to right tackle, Johnson came out, and Patrick McCarry went to right guard. Hainsey at center, Cleveland at left guard, and Walker Little at left tackle. But that's the way the ones went today. So, this is, outside of the situation which we learned with Travis Hunter, which is only a precaution, really the most important question of all is what's going on with moving all these guys around on the offensive line?
Yeah, I think it's just giving people opportunities to see what they can do with each group and also filling in and making sure that we're able to finish the scrimmage and it's not a mess. So, I thought that Fred and Wyatt specifically, Makari bounced around, but they all had moments and they've all been able to do some positive things, but we got to remain like the consistency of that, whether it's the swing tackle or whomever it is. Consistency is, as you guys know, the key, and it's one thing to have splash plays or you dump somebody, but then we have an MA the next play. Like, that's too much of a roller coaster for offensive line play at times. So I was pleased with the guys being able to step up and take extra reps, especially when those two guys went down.
All right, earlier today, Liam Cohen on the offensive line, which I don't think there's any secret about it, really remains the major what-if for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the backs have played, really well. I'm going to get to Travis Etienne, who's RB1. He's RB1. Okay? Whether you like it or not, and some of you don't, he is RB1. But we're going to get there in just a little bit, but this is a good question. And we always get good questions here. Two ways you can reach us. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also go to YouTube and go to 1010XL into the night. But why not be bold and get another player for the offensive line? Everyone knows it's not good. Be bold. Several reasons. Number one, how are you going to get one? Who are you going to dangle? Who can you give up right now that is going to give you... You're talking about a starting offensive lineman or maybe an aging offensive lineman that has just been kicked out of his starting job, but is probably a swing guard or a swing tackle. How are you going to get that? You're going to have to give someone up. If you say Travis Etienne, he's not going to produce a starting offensive lineman. It's not going to happen. Okay, final year of his deal, $6 million. You going to trade Parker Washington? I kept getting that question over the summer. Parker Washington has been arguably the most consistent wide receiver. Hell no. He's also involved in the return game as your punt returner. So I think that's the biggest issue. I think ego comes into play, right? You brought in 6 new offensive linemen. You drafted 2. Just talked about Milam getting more and more work. Yeah, he had his hands full the other day with Josh Hines-Allen, but that is supposed to happen. If we were going through the top 5 players on this team, Josh Hines-Allen's on it. Okay, he's a veteran. He's been paid. He's supposed to school a rookie. We all agree with that. You paid a lot of money for Patrick Makari. A lot of money. The bargain is Ed Oga. What did he cost? $7 million over 2 years? There's your bargain. And obviously, we haven't heard much about Hainsey, which is typically a good thing. That would mean that, for the most part, he's been solid. But I think those are the 2 reasons. And then I'm even going to add this. It's been a month long, and you still have problems with the offensive line when it comes to false starts, the pre-snap movement, all of that. Are you going to trust bringing in a veteran and whipping him into shape as far as cadence, play calls, blocking schemes, changes? I think it's a little bit more difficult. Obviously, it is. That's the case. You know what? Let's do that instead. Can we get to the question that I asked Cohen today? Because I think it fits into this situation. My understanding, and this is exactly what I said to Liam Cohen today, is that it was a slow start in Tampa offensively during training camp. I spoke with someone that I talk with regularly there. We typically talk about Florida State, but in this case, we were talking about the Buccaneers. So it was a very slow start. But then once the season began, everything exploded for Tampa Bay offensively. We've gone through the numbers. I mean, it was literally night and day. For those of you who forget, they were number 1 in red zone. For those of you who forget, they were last a year ago in rushing. They went to number 4 in rushing. So I asked, is it comparable? Are there similarities to where Jacksonville is right now offensively and where Tampa Bay was a year ago offensively?
Yeah, I think in some ways, obviously we were a little bit more veteran on that team in terms of just maybe a little bit more experience from some of the veteran players that we had. But I would say, yeah, there's some similarities for sure. Going against Coach Bull's defense every day was hard, and it took more time, I think, to get the run game going. Just because we saw so much blitz and stunt and movements every day. But yeah, it definitely, it's going to continue to take time, guys. It's not going to be a finished product right now by any means.
And yesterday we went through this. I was wondering about Tank Bigsby a little bit, and a major endorsement today for Cohen on Tank Bigsby. But if you remember or you were not aware, you go back to the 2024 season in Tampa Bay, the combination of Rachaad White and Bucky Irvin caught 98 footballs for 800 yards. We know they ran it for 1,735 yards. You're talking about two backs that put up more than 2,500 yards from the line of scrimmage. And again, 98 receptions. That doesn't fit Tank Bigsby. If you're looking at the Liam Cohen offense, a dual attack by your backs, it's running it and it's catching the ball. To me, that's Travis Etienne and it's Tootin. It's Travis Etienne and it's Allen Jr. Bigsby has feet for hands. Okay? I mean, it's nothing personal. He can't catch. He's actually had a couple of nice receptions during camp. But come on. Do you trust him in the bright lights? So what does that mean when he is in? Our defense is going to be able to get on their toes and say, well, guess what? Bigsby's in. We're certainly going to D up on the wide receiver and the tight end, but you can leave him wide open. And I think it in my opinion, it enforces that Jacksonville is going to try to run the football when Bigsby's in. When Bigsby's out and it's one of these three other backs, you have to be prepared to stop them both ways. It's a really big part of all of this as far as I am concerned. Okay, let's do the final bit here on the offensive line. I got with Travis Etienne after practice today, and here is our exchange. A lot of changes in competition on the offensive line in the teamwork where there's been contact. How are the running holes? How are the running lanes?
I feel like they're great. I feel like it's on us as running backs to continue to set things up. And I feel like we set things up with our shoulder pass, our tempo, and our spacing, and just having an understanding of the run game for real. And just the way Cohen just kind of coaches that mid zone, the way he switches things up. And I feel like the hole's been great. And I feel like it's just on us to continue to just keep pressing the line of scrimmage, knowing we got to go, setting the blocks up, and just hitting the hole whenever we get it. So I feel like it's going to be a great year for us if we just stick to our keys and play within the scheme.
So that is Travis Etienne. And I've always liked him a whole heck of a lot. I'm still trying to, I just can't grasp it. Duval's great at identifying a guy that you no longer like. And man, I mean, you folks are monsters. And we've seen it I remember you getting on the Luke Jokels, the Reggie Nelsons, right? I remember it's been so many different players over the years, but you're relentless. And I'm just kind of like, why? Well, the 14-point swing last year in Miami. He fumbled the ball, and they went the entire way. You take away the 7 that you had, and you add a 7 that Miami had. Let's add that up. That's a 14-point swing, and it was a killer. But, it's like he's been a Bill Buckner in town here. Etienne's done some good things. And Etienne, in my opinion, has had a very good camp. The running backs have had a very good camp. You know, on the other side, I want to begin to get into this. I want to go through the roster and tell you bubble guys. The one thing that sticks out for there's no doubt, okay, Etienne, Bigsby, Tootin, Allen Jr., those four make the team. Now, could they possibly move one of the two? The rumors have been out there. I don't think so. I think those are going to be the two guys who get the football, partly because I don't think you can get equal return for the production that they're going to give you. I'll say right now, Jaquindon Jackson, you got to bury him. He'll play Sunday. I mean, Hayes Carlin and I were talking about this. Maybe give him a carry or two and sit him down. I mean, just try not to showcase him, because I'd love to be able to bury him on the practice squad. The other thing would be, you know, maybe he stubs a toe and he's out and put him on the IR. Now, the problem there is when he's on IR, obviously he can't practice with the team. He can still learn everything in the classroom. He can observe, but he's not participating. I'd be scared. Out of all the guys that they could lose by not making the roster, he is absolutely far and away the number one guy that I would want to protect. I don't even think there's a guy who's close when it comes to that. I'm talking about guys who will not make the roster. And if you can protect it. You know, number two might be for me is it BJ Green or RJ Green? It's BJ Green. Played at Colorado. He's a undrafted free agent. He's just shown up at times. He's shown up, again today and did a couple of good things yesterday. If I was ranking guys that you would have do your best to be able to hang on to who don't make the roster, I would go Jackson first, the running back, and I would go Green at number two, the defensive lineman that can play both inside and outside. I like him outside more than inside. So 90-67, no Tristan Wirfs here. Yeah, you nailed it. Let's take a break, but it was the Combine. And this was revealed by John Spytek, who's now the general manager in Las Vegas. I mean, Vegas has done the same thing as the Jags. They brought in Tom Brady, as a partial owner. They brought in a new general manager in John Spytek, who was in Tampa with Liam Cohen. And they brought in Pete Carroll. Well, apparently during a conversation during the Combine, Cohen told Spytek that the major difference is the offensive line. And this was even before they practiced. A noticeable change between the offensive line in Tampa and the offensive line here in Jacksonville. And after that, what did they do? They went out and they added 6 guys. They brought in 4 free agents and they drafted 2 players. So they're starting to turn this thing around. But it still is the major concern of this football team. What are you going to get out of that offensive line? Travis Etienne seems to think they're doing a good job. All right, let's get some thoughts from you on this. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Let's also welcome those watching on YouTube tonight, 1010XL into the night.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Coliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Come to Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale going on now for a very limited time. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it. Diamond jewelry, engagement semi-mounts, colored gemstones, even gold chains. Right now, everything on display at Monahan Jewelers is 40 to 50% off. Jewelry's going quick, so come to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community-focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. And if your dream is to create that space where you're living large in your backyard, then you need to get with the good people at CSS. They put a gas log in our fireplace, an awesome fire pit out back where the kids can toast s'mores, and we can just hang out and watch the game. It's all part of your outdoor living experience with CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacressporting.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
RJ Saunders taking us into the weekend. Some love-making music, RJ.
Oh, this was a staple when it was you and I on nights.
No doubt. Coming up next hour, we're going to really dive into the defense a little bit. I feel like this hour has been just about all offense. I did talk with Antonio Johnson today and Jordan Jefferson yesterday. I didn't run the Jefferson deal yesterday because, all the rage that did come out of the scrimmage. There's a little bit of confusion going on right now. I mean, typically everyone's on the same page. I'm talking about my colleagues and what I hear. There's a difference in opinion, a lot of stuff that's going on, which I think is good because we're not getting copycats. We're getting, people are using their own mind for trying to figure stuff out. And even more importantly, when there is confusion like this and you have different opinions, therefore nothing is concrete and it can go either way. Both really good, both really bad. So I think that's pretty fresh, pretty different. I've covered a lot of these training camps, and this one in that sense is really different. It applies to this question. $87.99 blue. Am I crazy to think the upcoming season is going to go one of two ways? Either Trevor Lawrence is going to have a bad year, and we're going to have to go and look for another quarterback in next year's draft, or we are going to get in the playoffs but only win one game in the postseason and go back to our old ways. Well, you know what? Winning one game in the postseason is not going back to old ways. If you're a Jags fan and you could not accept the playoffs and one win this year after 4-13 a year ago, then I really think you need to check yourself. I'm not going to be doom and gloom before the start of the year, but this is not a Super Bowl contending football team. It's not. Winning a playoff game in year one with Liam Cohen and seeing strides that this football team makes is really, really good. You know, and then you hope by 26, 27, 28, you know, that Jacksonville is really in it and thick. But it's just, you know, they're not going to go from 4 wins to winning a Super Bowl. That doesn't happen. Now, we've seen year after year after year in the NFL, team that finished, you know, with 8 divisions, team that finishes 4th turns around and wins a division. That isn't the case. Jacksonville was 3rd in the division last year. And you're part of with Trevor Lawrence, I'll tell you what. As bad as you believe Trevor Lawrence's year is, it doesn't apply to this organization. They have to fix him. The 5-year extension hasn't even kicked in yet. The $275 million won't even kick in until next year. They're not going to go draft a quarterback. You got to fix them. That's what it comes down to. You know, I don't want to say this now because it would be incorrect. But if it doesn't work, my guess would be there's going to be a lot of changes with the staff. Not with your quarterback. The investment has been made. And again, that's all I yelled about during this hiring process. And I will never know if it happened, but what I envisioned was Liam Cohen walking into Shad Khan and Tony Baselli and saying, give me the keys to this. I'm going to make Trevor Lawrence a Super Bowl champion. You don't want some guy walking in saying, you guys were last in running. You guys have a terrible, you guys couldn't stop the pass. You couldn't, forget about all that. That's what I hope that was the selling point for Shad Khan and Tony Baselli. Liam Cohen walked in and said, watch this. Give me the freaking keys to the franchise. And I'm going to make Trevor Lawrence in this football team Super Bowl winners. That's what I would have loved to have heard. I have no idea if that was the case. Not even a clue. It could have been the exact opposite. But, I mean, to me, that's big. All right, let's take a break. I'm trying to remember. I think it was James Franklin at Vanderbilt and, a couple of other coaches. Dan Mullen, maybe at Mississippi State. And this is 1 year in Hoover. And all these coaches are like, hey, you know, our cupboard's full. There's no reason why we can't win in this league. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's Butch Jones at Tennessee. He's like, well, you know, we got problems here. We got issues there. It's like, what type of coach do you want? Do you want a coach who's coming in telling you that there are a ton of problems? And there are here in Jacksonville. Or do you want a coach who comes in and say, watch this. I'm going to fix it. Now, again, I don't know that was Cohen's approach. I just hope it was Cohen's approach. We got much more to do. We do tonight till 8.
The race is on.
Closing the gap.
Saturday at Richmond.
Fighting for every point.
NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on Jacksonville's high-performance NASCAR station, 1010 XL.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 15, 2012, Felix Hernandez of the Mariners throws the 23rd perfect game in Major League Baseball history and the third perfecto of the season.
After our son's shoulder issues were worsening, we took him to see Dr. Snyder at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, who recommended PRP treatment. We trusted Dr. Snyder's evaluation and looked forward to seeing him pitch again. For the right care, the best care, we highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with all kinds of sports for kids ages 3 to 17. Fall and winter registration is open right now, like girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of co-ed programs in the Tri-County area to keep your kids active. And being part of a team creates great camaraderie and commitment. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay, sign up now for the fall and winter. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. That's i9sports.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Joining us for the first time, Travis Hunter didn't work today, stretched, and then watched. Liam Cohen told us after practice, it's upper body. It is a precaution. The offensive line today, Antonio Harrison on the side. Anton Harrison, on the side. Chuma Edoga on the side. Tyson Campbell on the side. We saw Eric Armstead today. He stretched and he wore a helmet. So that's encouragement there for Eric Armstead. All right, let's get to this. Put a lot of thought into it. And, when it comes to the 53, obviously I've seen others, whatever, got some really good talent on the beat here in town, the writers and what have you. I mean, just not only are they good guys, but they're talented, and most of them put together 53s. And no matter what they write, I read, and I always credit. That's the old school in me. If they're going to put something out there that I haven't thought of or I think is interesting, I'm going to give them the recognition. So I've gone through all those, and they've been out for quite some time. But this is where I'm at offensively. I have 22 that I think make the team. They will keep 25, or that's typically what they do. The two quarterbacks, no doubt, Lawrence and Mullins. All right, they'll keep a camp arm, or put a guy in the practice squad. We'll see if it's the local kid Wolford, or if they'll go with the rookie Hennigan. The four backs, done. Etienne, Bigsby, Tootin, and Allen Jr. As I said earlier in the program, out of every single guy in this roster who's going to be cut, Jaquindon Jackson is the guy that I want to protect. Okay? I want him on this practice squad. And we'll see. Maybe he pulls a hamstring and they can put him on IR. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. Wide receiver is confusing. All right, you have the top four with Thomas Jr., Brown, Hunter, and Parker. All along, I've had Joshua Cephas on this list. He had 3 drops yesterday. And as I've said all along, I want my 5 and 6 guys to be special teamers only. But all of a sudden, Joshua Cephas, there's a guy who needs a big game on Sunday. I was under the belief it would be Cephas and Pancol, the rookie out of Duke. I don't know that. I think they're on the bubble. And, you got veteran guys who aren't great special teamers. I mean, Trammell's a return guy, and his only look a year ago, he fumbled. That can't happen. Trenton Irwin has emerged late in camp. Now, to me, I think you can put one of these two on the practice squad, and I don't think there's danger that anyone else is going to get them, because I don't look at those two as special teamers. I look at them as probably number 4 wide receivers. And I say that in a way that Jags fans, you should hope that the only wide receivers who catch balls this year are Thomas Jr., Hunter, Brown, and Washington, and that your 5th and 6th wide receivers are on special teams. You don't want your 5th and 6th wide receivers catching footballs. If that happens, why. Someone else can't go because they're injured. So you want to avoid that. But I think it'd be great to keep Irwin around here in the practice squad. So if that did happen, I think he even jumps Cephas. He even jumps Pancol as a proven wide receiver in the league. You get where I'm going with this? And I don't think other teams are going to snatch him up unless it's a similar situation, unless they lose a guy that, has been catching footballs. 3 tight ends, Strange, Munt, and Long. Most have 10 offensive linemen. I have 9 right now. Okay? I'm going by numbers here, lowest to highest. Ed Oga, Monheim, Milam, Macari, Little, Hainsey, Johnson, Cleveland, Harrison. There's my 9. I'm putting Cole Van Lanen on the IR so he doesn't snatch up a roster spot. But you're saying goodbye to guys that were drafted by the former regime. You're saying goodbye to Luke Fortner. And Liam Cohen has a relationship with him from their days spent at Kentucky. I just don't think so. Okay? Javon Foster, no. Absolutely. Don't see it. So, And then you look at the guy they just got from Clemson, Antrim. Is there a chance maybe he can make it? I don't know. So I have only 22. I think they're going to keep 2 of these wide receivers to make it at 24, and then it comes down to, all right, 25th spot on offense. Maybe they'll go 24-26, but if they go 25-25, then you're either going to add a 10th offensive lineman or you're going to add a 4th tight end. I think that's where this football team is right now offensively. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. We'll do the same drill on defense. You're also going to hear from a couple of defensive players that I've caught up with over the last few days. Antonio Johnson today. It was Jordan Jefferson yesterday. Let's continue with your questions as well. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And as well on YouTube tonight. Go to 1010XL into the night.
When the game's on the line against a huge rival and my first ever SEC game, my teammates and my coaches, they were willing to put it in my hands in that moment. That meant the world to me.
I'm Tim Tebow on 1010XL.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a Dandy today.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey, Hicken here, and every Friday I'll help you put together your sports weekend so you know where you want to go and what you want to do. Watch for Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook, locked down by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic, semaglutide injection, 0.5 milligrams.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teens ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
No place I'd rather be than right here. 92.5 FM. The home of the Jaguars. Off to Tampa tonight to pick up my dad's car, who my dad passed about 2 months ago. Drive that back from Tampa tomorrow morning. I'm going to give it to my daughter. She better treat this car better than she treated the first car. But I'll be back early. I'm going to get up early. This getting up early stuff's for the birds. But I'm going to get up early again and then get back here. Missing a round of golf, trying to do the right thing. Man, it's hot on the golf course. And then, watch the Jaguars on Sunday and get in some late beach on Sunday. This is a very lengthy question to me, but it's intriguing. It goes on and on and on about why Jacksonville shouldn't place their starters on Sunday because of injuries. Well, please, anyone out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but every injury that they've suffered has happened in practice, correct? I mean, Harrison happened in a scrimmage, but Adoga was out. Tyson Campbell went out. Buster Brown went down. Mason Smith just called off. Eric Armstead, a little bit of work today. Caleb Ransaw, Cole Van Lan. I don't think any of those players were hurt against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I mean, you just never know. And that's why it's so aggravating that's the common thought. Don't play him. You don't want to get hurt. Travis Hunter, upper body precaution, out today. If you did not hear. And so, I mean, you don't know. Pretty interesting stuff, though, as far as I am concerned. All right, let's get to the defense. Well, let's do that. I've been a believer that the defense is ahead of the offense the entire time, and then we just saw how bad things were on Saturday night against Pittsburgh. First things first, let's talk with the third-year veteran. Let's talk with a guy and Antonio Johnson that, I've been building up really for quite some time. He's got the length. He's got the size. His instincts, you want to believe, can get better. I think there's been times where maybe he's been thinking a little bit too much as opposed to just going out and playing football. Regardless, and he's a big part of this thing. Now with Anthony Campanelli taking over in, not only in the secondary, but taking over as the defensive coordinator. I did catch up with Antonio Johnson after day 16. That was a few hours ago at the Miller Electric Center.
Now, renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
All right, interesting week here for the football team. It was a really good week for the defense. The offense struggled. Is that mostly because of how well you guys are playing?
I would say we came out this week as a defense and, we executed at a high level, playing physical and playing, aggressive with the ball in the air, giving the offense different looks, trying to hold shells, and switch it on the quarterback to the last minute. But I feel like it's always come down to the offense, just making sure they capitalize on anything, making plays when the time comes.
You guys turned the page on last year a long time ago, but now that you're a month into training camp, how different are things?
Things are a lot different, just schedule-wise, taking a lot of practice in the morning, so coming in, just getting your body ready for the next day. Less time to mentally recover from the day before, because you have more time and less time in the morning, because you have more time later on in the day to do what you need to do, but less time in the morning. But just finding a schedule, making it work for you, and then as a team, I feel like we could just look different on the grass. A lot of guys just coming out playing hard each and every day, and we just giving it all.
What do you like about this Anthony Campanelli defense?
Man, we got a lot of defenses where our eyes on the quarterback, so we get to play the ball in the air. We debate the quarterback a little bit. Just a little bit more zone defense.
How does this fit your skill set?
Just allow me to show my range, play the ball in the air, come downhill, cover threes, come forward, anything. Just being able to show my versatility with my ball skills.
Some red zone today. You guys went to a 3 safety set, so different looks, different things that you're doing. How do you believe you're adapting to everything?
Everything's coming along well. It was a lot. We threw a lot in during the OTAs and during training camp, and I feel like just as we rep everything's just becoming more natural. The defense becoming more cohesive with just up front and the back working together. For me personally, just being comfortable in the system, finding my role in the system, and just being able to just be the best ball player I can be.
Special teams huge as well. That's a big part of what you do.
Yes, sir. They asked me to go on special teams. I play whatever phase they asked me to do, but that's a part of the game. It's a part of the team, and if you go out there, give it your all. That's what they need each and every week.
Last one for you, Antonio. Your third year. Have you seen anything like this as far as the speed when you add Tootin, when you add Hunter, and when you add, Brown? I mean, just trying to cover these guys and watching what they're able to do.
Not here specifically. We got a lot of speed on the offensive side of the ball. All the boys over there, they can roll. They get open field. You see it on tape. The only thing we've seen closest to is probably when we play in Miami. So other than that, I haven't seen anything else close to the speed of it we got.
Thank you for your time.
For sure, appreciate it.
All right, thank you. The scheme change could really benefit Antonio Johnson. I firmly believe that he looks the part. That's what's exciting, and that's what's caught me, the last couple of years. Eric Murray's a starter, and we heard from Eric Murray earlier today. He met with us as well after practice. And then it's been a battle. Dewey's had his moments. Darnell Savage, I was so close to saying that it's just not going to work. He was injured a year ago. Feel like he's lost the step. He's been okay. He's still a part of this. And then it's Antonio Johnson. Those are your 3. So this is where a situation like this is so big for Jacksonville. Because is this going to be simply whoever the number 2 safety is next to Eric Murray? It's going to be a disappointment. They're not going to get the job done, right? Does it come down to that? Or does one of these guys take advantage of this opportunity and really step forward with their game? You look at Johnson, you can't, when you see him measured up to Dewey and to Savage, you just want to embrace it and be like, man, put him out there. Let him play football. The guy's physical. He can come up to the line of scrimmage. He's had some interceptions and some pass breakups so far in camp. The way that this new defense is working, really challenging his ability to make some plays by being able to keep your head forward in zone coverage and keep your eyes on the quarterback. But that's a major, major question, the number 2 safety. I'm really disappointed with, the Caleb Ransaw situation. I was hoping that maybe you could plug and play him as a rookie, similar to what they did years ago with Andre Sisco. But that is not going to be the case. All right, let me go through this. I did the defense, and, I have 5 corners and I have 5 safeties. And, I feel pretty good about that. Of course, a 6th corner is Travis Hunter, but he didn't count on the roster, right? Because we already had him as a wide receiver. But, obviously you got your starters, and that's going to be Hunter, and that's going to be Jones. and that is going to be Lewis, and that is going to be Campbell. So let's really say right now that there are 4 starters, even though there will only be 3 that are out there. And I think 5 and 6 are going to be DeAndre Prince, who's had a really good camp. I think Christian Braswell makes this team. I haven't been as outspoken about him as I was a year ago. That was probably the biggest surprise cut last year for me. I thought Braswell would make this team, and he did not. He went to the practice squad. 5 safeties. Well, we just went through them, right? Murray, Savage, Dewey, and, Antonio Johnson, and Ray Lane. I'm taking Ray Lane. I'm taking him as a rookie. I think he's going to be a big part on special teams. I don't think he's going to be asked to do really anything defensively. There's your special teams guy. So when you look at this group, that's 5 safeties and 5 corners. I'm going to put Buster Brown on IR. Don't know where he is, but it just doesn't sound good. Caleb Ransaw has now lost so much as a rookie. I think he is placed on IR. So you have 2 members in this secondary that I think will begin the year. If you don't know about the IR, counts against the salary cap. It does not count against your 53-man roster or certainly your practice squad. I think Cole Van Lannon on offense, and I think these 2 members of the defense are going to go on IR. So getting cut, Daniel Thomas. He's been a very good special teams player. He is a liability in coverage. And I just think time is up. I think you can get the same production with a guy who may have a higher ceiling down the road in Ray Lane. My thinking. So that's it. The others are, kind of in camp guys. But I think that is going to be the case there for the defensive backs. So 5 safeties, 5 corners. All right, when we come back, let's look at the defensive line and linebackers. Jordan Jefferson as well. Had an opportunity to catch up with him. You hope that this D-line is starting to get healthy. Encouraging news this week for both Mason Smith and Eric Armstead. I wouldn't think either will play Sunday in New Orleans. Could you target Miami next week for Smith? I kind of under the impression that even though Liam Cohen said he's got to practice, I don't think Armstead's going to play in either one of these 2 games. Just my feeling. It could be dead wrong on it. So let's come back. We'll stay on the defensive side and talk a little bit more about who I think is on the team and who is on the bubble. Also want to get into what to look for Sunday at 1 o'clock in New Orleans.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser share the huddle with Freddie T. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Fred Taylor, he's a candidate to go the distance.
On 1010XL.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
If you've been in a big truck accident, you need a lawyer that specializes in big trucks. A lawyer who knows all the federal traffic rules that can affect your case.
And who can navigate the complex web of laws dealing with the trucking company, the leasing company, the shipper, and all the other details that can complicate your case.
At Farah and Farah, we've seen it all, and we're ready to go the long haul to fight for you. Jacksonville.
Upgrade her diamond ring this summer with no money down and 0 interest for 5 years. Don't miss this killer offer from Beard's Diamonds. 5 years, 0 interest financing till the year 2030. Not just on engagement rings, also on earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Buy now and pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. So that $5,000 gift comes out to just $85 a month. Beard's Diamonds is Jacksonville's locally owned source for exquisite jewelry. We can do things the big corporate jewelers can only dream of, like lowering interest rates all the way down to 0. All GIA certified diamonds are included in this. Rounds, princess cuts, ovals, pear shapes, cushion cuts, emerald cuts. Whether you get a $5,000 diamond or a $50,000 diamond, you can spread your payments over 5 whole years. Get the Beard's Diamonds unbeatable price. Pay 0 down and spread your payments over 5 years. But hurry, this is a limited time offer that ends August 31st and will not be extended. Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beards. Unapproved credits and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through August 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Winning tonight till 8 o'clock. Hackers off. We'll be back Monday, and of course, a lot to do. Hopefully the starters play. Mark Duffner, former linebackers coach here in Jacksonville, yesterday joined us and said he'd play him a half and he'd play him one series to begin the third quarter. There's been a lot of people that just think, no way are they playing. They were in full pads Tuesday, and they had a nearly 2-hour scrimmage in pads yesterday. I think they need more work. I don't even think they're close to being ready. They need game work. And that's just the way that I'm looking at it. You got that practice next week with Miami. Who knows about game number 3? But it's still a lot of time out. I mean, what is it? The 15th day of August. You don't play until September 7th. But, you know, we asked Liam Cohen. And I guess we met with him, I don't know, around 12:45 today, 1 o'clock at the Miller Electric Center. They pushed back practice today, a little bit more heat. And he said he honestly didn't know. And Cohen's been very transparent. I mean, I enjoy the Q&A with Liam Cohen. It's not canned. You know, it's not filled with cliches. He tells you know, you go either way on it. He knows he just wasn't going to tell us, or he really wants to get with the trainers and the doctors and look at some of these medicals and, you know, what is the feeling about the way this week has gone compared to, you know, playing them or not playing them. So obviously I feel they should play. All right, let's stay on the defense. Let's get to the defensive line. Let's get to Jordan Jefferson. Let's do that. Really, there's an opportunity here. And you'd love for one guy to really emerge. I was talking about Antonio Johnson could really be a wild card. I mean, if you step forward, there's a guy right there. If you're just looking at players and you're picking a few that, could the light really go on? Certainly Antonio Johnson is a candidate. Well, what about some of these guys on the defensive line? I think you know what you get from Devon Hamilton. I wouldn't expect a major change there. I hope that Armstead is better, but we know he's been down. He did stretch today and put on a helmet. Mason Smith is absolutely a wild card. Huge. First-round talent. Didn't take care of himself a year ago. Didn't eat right. He's been shelved this year. Off the pup, Thursday? So he's got a long ways to go. Then you start looking at guys, can they contribute? Tyler Lacey, right? Jordan Jefferson. What are they going to give you? Caught up with the second-year defensive tackle yesterday. That's back on Thursday at the Miller Electric Center.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
All right, a hot one today. They pushed back practice a little bit, had a scrimmage. We're joined by defensive lineman Jordan Jefferson. Boy, it was hot today.
Oh, yeah. But, we're going to use that to our advantage, though. Coach Cohen always say that use that heat is our edge. So, we got here in it every day. So we're starting to get used to it now.
As a group, you guys just ran extra sprints. What was that all about? Did someone mention it? Was that a, kind of a group decision? How did that all come about?
No, sir. So we really just big on holding each other accountable. And, penalties and stuff like that. We run for it. Just a thing to bring us closer together, and also just those things to show that we can't have those self-inflicting wounds, something like that. But that's just what it was. We like to hold each other accountable. So if we have a defensive penalty, we'll run, have guys here at the practice, however many we.
You just mentioned Liam Cohen. You're now a month into training camp. How has it gone so far, and how is it different from a year ago?
Oh, no, it's good. We love Coach Cohen. He's a player's coach. He's very, very good guy. He demands excellence. He demands it out of us every day. So he pushes us every day. We love that. We also love, your head coach is a reflection of your team. And Coach Liam, he's a very stern guy. He's straight to the point. He doesn't sugarcoat. He's a tough guy. And so, it reflects on us. Like I said, it trickles down. So it's good. Really been enjoying it, how he's been coaching and coaching us and leading his team.
Grasping this new defensive scheme, headed up by Anthony Campanelli. I know it's a learning process for all. How has it gone so far?
It's going good. Yes, it's going good. You can probably tell Coach Camp is a guy with a lot of juice, a lot of energy. He demands, like I say, also demands excellence from us. So, and he highlights us as we're the motor of this defense, So if we're lacking or we're behind, the whole defense is, the whole practice is off. So, we like how Coach Camp is doing that. But it's been a great adjustment, just from play style, scheme, and all that stuff. So that's really how it is.
What's this like right now? It's a really good opportunity for you. You have a chance to, pick up a lot of snaps and really be a big part of this defense.
Yes, sir, Coach. Yeah, it's a blessing. All glory to God for that. I come out here and try to bust my ass every day, work hard, just try to grind, so I keep getting better every day. I want to get better at one thing every day. God already blessed me with the talent and the capability. So I've been finding just those little fine details to get better at every day, so I can constantly improve my game. So once season comes, like you said, I'm ready to take that big step. And I believe I'm working towards doing that.
Is there a little bit more movement for you, a little bit more freedom to do what you want on the defensive line?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is. Just from different play style, and all that stuff. So we have a lot more freedom than what we did, and I'm loving that. So it gives us the opportunity to penetrate and be more successful and stop runs before they get going. Just be disruptive and cause offensive havoc in the backfield, stuff like that. So it's good.
Last one for you, Jordan. Obvious competition with the guys that you're going against. A lot of new faces, 6 of them on that offensive line. As a group, how do you think they're doing?
They're doing good. We push each other every day. They're constantly improving. We're constantly improving. You know, at the end of the day, like you said, sir, it's about the competition, going against the guys. So that way, when fall comes, we've been getting after each other out here every day. You know, we've been grinding, going against each other. So that way, when we get in season, you know, there's nothing new to us. You know, we'll be able to play four quarters of a ball, physical football. I would like to establish ourselves. So we good.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jordan Jefferson, and, you know, I really believe that either he or Tyler Lacey, one of the two, you can't expect it from both, but one of the two is going to have to be counted on to do some things in the rotation this year. If health does its part, you know, it's Armstead, it's Smith, and it's Hamilton. Those are your three. I think they keep 5 on the roster, the interior defensive line. Lacey and Jefferson, both 4 and 5. I'm not going to keep Austin Johnson on. That's a bubble guy. Some may keep 6 interior defensive linemen. Okay, I'm keeping 5 right now, and then obviously with your rushers, I think that's set in stone, right? With Walker and Allen and Smoot and Ogba. So 4 rushers, 5 defensive tackles. That gives you 9 there to go along with the 10 I had in the secondary. I do have 6 linebackers. I'll get there momentarily, but that's the way I'm looking at it. I mean, you could cut a linebacker and add another defensive tackle. There's all sorts of things that you could do. You know, I don't think Miles Cole makes it. Just waiting for him to make a play. I mean, if you were to just look at players, imposing players, man, he's got that look, Miles Cole. And he's lost some weight. He just doesn't make plays. I'm sure they love to be able to keep him on the practice squad. And that's really going to apply for a lot of these players. You know, they believe in him. They're here for a reason. You say goodbye to them. They have options to go elsewhere. But, you know, for the most part, they're going to try to bring back as many of these guys as they can to be a part of the practice squad. So I think there's a real opportunity there for Miles Cole. The other guys, there's been times. Danny Strigo, he had a good look the other night in the game. I mentioned B.J. Green II. Yeah. I think Ethan Downs, in my opinion, those 3, if they have their way, they're on the practice squad. They are developmental type of football players. So that's my look right there at the defensive line. Linebacker, you know, you got your 3 in Lloyd, Ololakon, and Miller. And then I think the 3 backups, you know, Abdul and Gardeck do what they do on the outside specifically. I think some would argue that one of those 2 could be cut. I think that's also a major candidate for a waiver wire addition once rosters are set. And I think that applies to defensive tackle too, particularly if Armstead and Smith aren't ready by Carolina. You know, good news on both this week, but you still don't know. And again, Liam Cohen talked about that today, about being in shape as opposed to being in game shape. Jack Kaiser's absolutely on it. And I've said all along, with the contract of Ololakon, we'll see Devin Lloyd in his final year. I mean, Ventrell Miller and Jack Kaiser could be 2 of your starting linebackers next year. I think those are the 6. So that means it's over for Chad Muma. He's just in a log jam here. He's at a log jam at a position group that could improve. Just don't think he's a part of it in the final year. Okay? And I'm going to put on the IR Jalen McLeod. So he becomes the 3rd defensive player I'm putting on the IR, along with Caleb Ransaw and Buster Brown. But, you know, the rookies, Ransaw and McLeod, they're not ready anyway. So put them on the IR. Some will argue with that and tell me that Chad Moon was going to make this football team. That's fine. So there you go. I've got 25 defensive players, 4 edges, 5 DTs, 6 backers, 5 safeties, and 5 corners, you have the best special teams in the NFL. Logan Cook and Cam Little. You got a really good snapper in Ross Matisic. The return game is intriguing. Parker Washington is your punt returner. We did see Tootin next to Tank yesterday at the scrimmage. The kickoff rule is so gross. I mean, it's just awful. Yeah, it just boils my blood. Stop making our NFL a gimmick. The kick rule is terrible. I mean, that is supposed to be, if not the most exciting, maybe a Hail Mary or maybe a punt return. I don't know, but it's just so bad for the game. And I've seen and I've read the evidence, with CTE and the concussions and all. Stop it. You're gonna have an 18th game before you know it, and everyone's gonna support it. Everyone listening wants an 18th game. I want an 18th game. Why do you mess with the kickoff? NFL, man, they never should have moved back the PAT. You should have left it. You should have left it right where it was. No. It's like, let's bring out the different colored basketball. Let's go ABA here. The NFL shouldn't be a gimmick. The kickoff rules, just think about the start of the game. College and pro. Think about it. You run out of the tunnel. You fire it up. Toe meets leather. And it's a touchback. It's like the greatest moment of the game. And it's everyone turns around and sits down. Because it's, 1st and 10. Now, I understand these new rules is going to create a little bit more as far as the return, but it's placement football, man. It's like, should I use a gap wedge here? Or let me check the wind. No, I'm going to go with a pitching wedge. I mean, who wants to see placement football? It's one thing if you're a punter and you're trying to go coffin corner, but with the kickoff, those crusty old owners, man, they got that one wrong. And I just think it's hurting the game. We got much more to do. Let's do that, and let's as well include your text. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. As well, you can get us on YouTube tonight, 1010XL into the night.
Want to bet on sports but no clue where to start? Millions of players are already making moves on Hard Rock Bet. Your friends might be winning. Why not you? Bet with confidence. Bets by real players help guide your picks. Go with the crowd and cash in on the wins. Any pick that catches your eye. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys Locksmith Service.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
When the heat is on and we really need to show that we really care, do it with a full arrangement from Kuhn Flowers. This is E.T., and let's make their day better than yesterday. Online at KuhnFlowers.com since 1947.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true. Quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
The playoff-bound Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in full swing at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the first coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
What Jacksonville Jaguars player has scored the most touchdowns?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
With 81 touchdowns scored in his career, Maurice Jones-Drew is the all-time touchdown leader for the Jaguars. Fred Taylor is second with 70.
Southern Oak Insurance.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, with you tonight till 8, back Monday, 6 to 8. RJ Saunders here. You got anything going on this weekend?
No, I mean, just going to really be taking a deep dive and a look into this Jaguars game on Sunday, because as you've been talking about, I mean, it seems there's going to be a lot of questions going into this one. How much do the starters play? I really feel for a lot of these guys, it's an opportunity to solidify their spots or maybe get a couple of extra looks from the coaching staff if they are on the bubble. So I feel like this is going to be the pivotal preseason game of the three, in my opinion.
How much, if at all, would you play them on Sunday, the starters?
With that offensive line being injured, I mean, maybe 2 or 3 series, depending on how much they trust the offensive line being piecemealed together. But, yeah, I listened to the interview last night, and, going for an entire half and then a series in the third quarter, maybe I would save that for the last preseason game. At least that's how I was thinking about it. But you're going to have to see what this first string looks like at some point. So whether you're going to do it now or you're going to do it the third preseason game, I don't think you can go into game one of the regular season only saying that this team played a couple of series in the preseason. I think you need to see them in their totality and give kind of an idea to Liam Cohen and the staff just exactly where they are.
Yeah. That interview you heard last night, former Jaguars linebacker coach Mark Duffner joined us. 27-75 says, Boo, you said that the offense went up-tempo and Trevor was calling his own plays that looked good. Is there any way you could make a comparison between the plays that Peterson and Taylor called and what Trevor called? No, we never know the answer to that question, but, it really appeared that the situation would be similar. Jacksonville's trailing. Jacksonville's trying to come from behind. It's a no-huddle. Trevor's calling things. I would like to be under the belief that he audibled a lot. And he was doing what he thinks is best. And I get it, because the scripted plays were crap. All right? They sucked. And there's no other way to say it. It's a complete, total embarrassment to see the game plan that was set at 1 o'clock with last year's football team. So that is Trevor. And yeah, he appears to be better than, But you have to take several things into consideration. If you're down by a couple of touchdowns and you're trying to come from behind, what are defenses going to do? They're going to lean back a little bit. They're going to give you some shorter stuff, right? They go into that prevent defense, and they're going to give up certain stuff that they're going to do a better job, with their pressing and their defense in the first half. So I think that you have to take that into consideration as well. But you won't find anyone who can make a compelling argument that Trevor Lawrence is as good in the huddle in the first half with plays called from the sideline than he is when he's in a panic mode and no huddle in the second half. It's not even close. Trevor's just better in that sense. 52-62 Blue. Is Trevor just throwing too hard? That was a case for years. There's been some times, man, where he has really zipped it this year. I can think of a couple to Parker Washington, the touchdown yesterday in coverage to Brian Thomas Jr. I think his touch has been better in the screen game, but there have been times that he's not on the same page with his receivers. Certainly not on the same page with Brian Thomas Jr. It feels like, today being the exception, but it feels like almost every day I come in here and talk about a drop by Brian Thomas Jr., and he's going to be fine. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. is the best player on this team. But, if you were to look at it, he hasn't been nearly as consistent, Thomas Jr., as Washington, as Hunter, and as Brown has been. So I think that 68-43, we could have had worse, but we didn't because Cabo's obsession with the Gators by yada yada and ratio. I'm not a fan of. Yeah, you know what? Yes, but in fairness, you can go to all 32 teams and you can look at misses in the draft. I mean, it's there for every single team. Could have had this guy. Should have had this guy. Didn't have this guy. That's fair. Certainly not an apologist. I like Dave Caldwell personally a lot. I'm not an apologist. Not an apologist either for Trent Baalke, and you know that I love him. 70-94. Baloo, if we have the worst offensive line in football, Trevor isn't gonna succeed. Okay. Phenomenal question. What is different about the Liam Cohen offense than what we saw over the last 3 years? The position grouping on the offensive side of the football field. Number two, as far as the amount of plays called last year in Tampa Bay, was what? 2 tight end sets. Blocking tight ends. The only decision that this new organization made that I do not agree with, saying about Evan Ingram. But I know why they did it, and you know why they did it. They did it because he can't block. And Brenton Strange is a really good blocker. And Brenton Strange, I think is going to have a big year. I think he's going to catch 50, 60 balls. And I'm sure they looked at this and said, we believe we have enough weapons that we will survive without Evan Ingram. We need blocking tight ends. So you got Munt and Long to battle to be the second tight end. And both rookies that they drafted in the 4th and 7th round, respectively. The first thing you hear about is they can run and they can catch, right? Again, I'm redundant here because it's important. You look at White, you look at last year's 2 backs, Irving and White. They caught 98 footballs for 800 yards in Liam Cohen's offense. And then you get to this. They're both really good football players when it comes to pass protection. Liam Cohen, obviously with a lot, especially at this position, getting with Tony Baselli, getting with James Gladstone. Remember the initial press conference. The importance of the offensive line by both the new GM and the new head coach. The best part of the press conference, in my opinion, was when Liam Cohen came out and told us how they changed their blocking scheme once they went from in shirts and in jerseys and shorts to pads. And that there's a lot to consider there. That you need to change your blocking scheme, midway through training camp. And they did it a year ago in Tampa Bay. Now, it's a veteran group, and they adapted, and obviously the results were spectacular. But I'm still trying to figure out exactly what is the style going to be with a consistent front five here as far as their blocking scheme. And is it a possibility that something there could change? Liam Cohen knew. He's smart enough. This organization is smart enough to know that if they're just relying on the five guys, Trevor's going to get killed. He's going to get killed. So you're going to put five, and you're going to have a sixth and a seventh tight end a lot of times, and you're going to have a running back in. Maybe it is Allen Jr. Maybe it is Tootin, who's real good in pass protect. So I think it makes them much more versatile. I mean, you're going to keep Bigsby in pass protect? What if it's a design that, you chip and then you go into a screen? He struggles to catch the football. That's a strength for Etienne. And these two rookies, I mean, they are well-rounded backs. So I love your question, but you're going to see that, I believe, once we get into the regular season. They are going to sacrifice a skill position guy to put an extra end in and use your back, as I just described. I think that's a big, big part of all of it, and only time will tell. All right, we got much more to do. Take you till 8 o'clock. He's R.J. Saunders. I'm Rick Ballou.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
Rebound Rehabilitation. 11 great locations across the First Coast, and they're just a click away when it comes to feeling strong and healthy again. If you need the best path to recovery, look no further than Rebound Rehab. Log on and check out one of their great 11 locations.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Blue here for the Blue. Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hey, it's Joe C. My friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can elevate your grilling experience with a durable, high-end grill from great brands like Coyote, DCS, Alfresco, and American Made, and make an outdoor kitchen custom-built to your taste and lifestyle. Visit their local showroom and see all the new displays at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, big day for the Jaguars. A lot of news coming out of the Miller Electric Center. Let's begin with Travis Hunter, upper body. All right, it is a precaution, but he stretched and then did not work. Really sat there with wide receiver coach Edgar Bennett watching everything else. The offensive line nicked as well. No Anton Harrison. That injury is undisclosed. And Chuma Edoga as well, working on the side. Don't have information on that injury. Those two with Tyson Campbell, who's been out for the majority of the week. So some bad news there. On the flip side, it's been consecutive days of good news for defensive tackles. Mason Smith, okay, off the pup yesterday. He was working on the side, and then today Eric Armstead as well. Stretched with the team, wore a helmet, and did do a couple of things. So overall, you know, it just feels like it's starting to get better there at defensive tackle. The biggest concern, well, I think there's two of them right now. It's obviously the right side of the offensive line. For those of you wondering, today with the ones, it was Fred Johnson, your starter at right tackle, and Wyatt Milam, the rookie, the starter at right guard. Then Milam replaced Johnson at right tackle with the ones, and Patrick McCarry went to right guard. So that's what we saw today. But when you look at the offensive line situation, and what else is scary is certainly your defensive backfield. With Tyson Campbell now not able to go, and you've gone the entire training camp without Buster Brown. And, you know, I think those who covered this team would say that Buster Brown and Jarian Jones had a really, really good camp. Christian Braswell has been getting some work with the ones. We know when Hunter comes over to that side, he's going to be a starter. I asked Jordan Lewis last week, you know, you're a slot guy. You're going to start on the base defense. He gave me I'll do whatever the coach wants me to do, but there's a chance there. Brown was the leader before he went down, but he could be a candidate for the injured reserve to at least begin the year. Take note that it's still the change rules. You can IR guys and pull them off. It's not like the old days in the NFL where if you stuck a guy on the injured reserve, he was gone for the remainder of the year. So that is something else to consider as well. All right, that's going to do it for us here tonight. RJ Saunders, young man, always a pleasure to get with you.
Certainly appreciated it, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. RJ in, Dylan had the night off. Hey, we'll be back Monday at 6 o'clock. I'm going to cover most away games this year for the Jaguars, including week 2 at Cincinnati, but I'm not going to New Orleans for this one. Will the starters play? That's the major question. We will come back. We'll talk about that and everything else that does happen Sunday at 1 o'clock. Of course, we'll have everything for you pregame, in-game, post-game right here on your home of the Jaguars, 92.5 FM and 1010 on the AM. You want to thank Antonio Johnson and Jordan Jefferson, Travis Etienne. For RJ Saunders, I'm Rick Ballou. Have a safe weekend. We'll talk Monday.